What's happening, campers? Campfacer here. Today we have some more news for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. Over a week ago, Gun Interactive and Sumo Nottingham released a teaser trailer on the Game Awards of the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. And today's video, we're going to discuss what's been going on over on the official Texas Chainsaw Massacre subreddit. We'll talk a little bit about it and see what Matt Shada from Gun Interactive has to say, and then we will discuss. Let's get into this.
Campfacer.
As you guys know, I talk everything horror, movies, collectibles, and more, gaming. And that being said, I want to make sure you guys click notifications to all, because from here on out, I'm also going to be talking anything related Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, news, and updates. So let's get into it. A few days later, after the trailer dropped, Wes Keltner of Gun Interactive on his Twitter page announced that they made an official Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game subreddit, and he was mentioning how a lot of the fans over there were coming up with ideas and they were interacting back and forth with different ideas on the game. And I decided to finally dive into Reddit. I've never had a Reddit official page. I've been there a few times, but I decided to give it a shot. And I created a profile and I jumped into the discussion with a few people over there, and there was very interesting ideas bouncing back and forth. Some of them were really creative and interesting. Some of them were a little bizarre, but that's the whole fun of talking about having friendly discussion about a video game, especially if it hasn't been released yet. Let's throw out our ideas to the community and to the developers, and maybe we can help create something amazing. So anyways, that being said, I'm going to read to you a few things that Matt Shada has answered to some of the questions out there. A few people out there were asking if this game was going to be backwards compatible with the PS4 and Xbox One. And Matt Shada chimed in and said, "Hey gang, I wanted to stop in here and discuss this a bit. Yes, this is 100% accurate. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre will not be releasing on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, or Nintendo Switch. The details I did want to comment further on is the timing and decision made here. While I know it doesn't soften the blow some of you feel with this news, it's important to note that planning to design and develop a game that bridges a console's generation has its own limitations, but it's also a decision made pretty early on." Okay, so I know this hits really hard for a lot of people because it's almost impossible to get your hands on the next gen console, whether it be PS5, Xbox Series X. I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one on launch day. And after that, I thought, oh, well, the new year is coming. I thought PlayStation and Xbox, Sony were going to restock the stores after the new year. Boy, was I wrong. The scalpers are still out there eating up all the consoles. And with the pandemic going on, it's hard to get the chips for these consoles. But I think Gun Interactive is making a really good, smart decision here, and they want to keep their game exclusive to the new generation consoles, and they have more they can put into the game with the new technology put into it instead of catering to a lower gen console. If you can get your hands on one, I'm sure you're gonna have time to find one before the game gets released. All I have to say is start looking now and save your money, you guys. Now, some people out there were also concerned how Friday the 13th, the game, got caught up with the whole lawsuit, and Matt Shada chimed in again and said, "We appreciate the hype. While I'm no lawyer and won't be able to get too in-depth in some of the things you mentioned, I can say that the concern expressed here is not lost on Gun. There were a lot of things that went on with our previous game that were out of our control, and a lot of lessons learned and aspects that were in our control, or more accurately, could be in our control. As for us taking our time, we already have years in this project. I know that a comment on a sub is not going to do the trick here though. I look forward to the future of Gun. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the community, we all build together around this game, and most of all, living up to the expectation and trust that dedicated horror fans have put into Gun. These frank and honest conversations are a huge part of the process, even at this early stage. So while I don't have a lot more I can detail just yet, I appreciate the feedback and look forward to days, weeks, months ahead. Now, you guys, that is awesome. I have to say, this time around, if anyone's nervous, I have to say that Gun Interactive, they've learned a lot from the mistakes in the past, bugs in the game, releasing something before releasing dedicated servers, going back and fixing to upgrade to the Unreal Engine 4, the new updated version of it, and there's been a lot of mistakes made, and there's no denying that, and they know that. And this is what's great about this time around is Gun Interactive. They know what they kind of did wrong or what happened out of their control. Now they've learned a lot, and now they're stepping up the game. And I'm gonna let you guys know, this time around, this was not a crowd-funded game like Friday the 13th was. They weren't depending on other people's crowd-funded money. This time around, they had money, they have investments, they picked a team to work on this game that they know have done previous games in the past, and they, Ilphonic, as much as they were amazing team developers, they only worked on a few mobile app games, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong there, but Ilphonic didn't have the experience that Sumo Nottingham has, and I have a lot of faith this time around, you guys. This is gonna be amazing. Now, some people were asking because the Unreal Engine 5 just came out, and they asked, are you guys going to use Unreal Engine 5 or keep working with Unreal Engine 4? And Matt Shada also chimed in and said, given the experience with Unreal Engine 4 and how fresh Unreal Engine 5 was at the time, and really still is, we went with the latest version of Unreal Engine 4. With Unreal 4, the team brings a wealth of knowledge and experience with those tools and workflows. Now, you guys have to understand, when somebody becomes comfortable with a tool they've used or a learning experience in the past, sometimes it's better to kind of stay with what you know and create something fresh and great from there. Because if they dove into the Unreal Engine 5, I get the Unreal Engine 5 is really an upgraded version and has so much more to offer. It still is new, you guys, and there could be a lot of learning curves around the Unreal Engine 5. Now, on another topic, a ways back on Twitter, a few of us, including myself, I asked Wes Keltner of Gun Interactive if the upcoming game is going to have a Kickstarter backer or any kind of crowdfunding where we can get exclusive tiers and so on. And Wes Keltner said, not this time around. He was straightforward, gave me a straight up answer. Now, since he said that, I was always wondering, why not? Because I enjoyed getting exclusives, especially to a horror franchise game, and being a part of it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Some people were asking the same thing, and Matt Shada also chimed in and said, while it's still too early to talk specifics on content and items, there is no Kickstarter or other crowdfunding for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say that this time around, they went and dove into this new project with a whole new package deal. They didn't want to do it with a crowdfunding process. They had, like I said earlier, they had investments. They have a lot more money than they had when they started Friday the 13th, the game. They have way more experience. They have new plans. They wanted to deliver this as a whole new package deal to the community out there. And I think this time around, this is more of a professional choice. I really did enjoy the crowdfunding and the Kickstarter backer exclusives that we had with Friday the 13th. But this time around, again, don't quote me, but I think they wanted to get away from that headache and do what they want to do the way they want to do it and have a more professional delivery with this package deal, you guys. Again, I'm not trying to be like this is what they are doing, but that's just me speculating on what they're doing this time around as far as exclusives and so on. Now, Are they, does that mean that they're not going to have any exclusives in the game? I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but this time around there's no Kickstarter backer. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out the video. Make sure to give it a like. Please subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, campers, stay out of the woods.